Look guys, it's a snake. Woohoo! Anyway, today's video is gonna be like a kind of like the Q&A. But what I'm actually gonna be doing, the tricolors are just out because, well, they don't get enough love in my opinion. Actually, the ball pythons I was gonna have out, but well, shoot, that would have been a good idea. They're hungry, but these guys are not. But so today we're covering 5 myths about reptiles, and I kind of realized after looking over my sticky note of these, based on things I've heard that I know that people believe, and just things I've seen on social media, kind of, realized all these are snake related. So I was like, oh, I got a couple of snakes that'll be interesting to have in shot. Hold on, we'll actually adjust the camera for this video so that you guys can see them in it. There we go. So it'll cut off probably like the top part of my head, I'm thinking. Maybe not actually. I might just keep this as like the new angle. Yeah, it cuts off the top part of my head, but I mean you can see what's going on here. So I might keep it like this for some videos. You guys are so funny. But yes, this is my breeding pair of tricolors. Just will mention that. So that's why she's looking big. But yeah, they're full grown, by the way. Or they're pretty close. But the first myth, reptile myth I have. Oh god, I think I'm gonna start moving. Hi. Hi Momo. Hi Todoroki. No, Todoroki, can you look this way please? I don't trust you. So I've covered this similar topic in in a couple of my other videos. But I'm drawing it this time just cause a lot of people seem to think that the pupil like the oh shoot. I don't know if the word's gonna be facing the right way. It should be. But some people for whatever reason seem to think that a slanted pupil means that the snake is venomous. Like I've said in the past, know that the pupil type just kind of tells you the time of day that they are active. So that one's pretty easy. Venomous snakes can have vertical pupils if they are active at night. It just depends on when they're active. And then again, there are technically these guys here are venomous. Rear-fanged venomous technically. So I mean, their pupils are not vertical. They have circular pupils. So no, that does not hold true. And my ball pythons actually have vertical pupils, which is why I was like, oh, it'd be great to actually have them out. But they are not venomous at all. They are constrictors. They crush their prey into submission. Now, I really have these guys out just to prove this second point is just a myth. And by the way, almost all these myths are inaccurate, or there's a little bit of truth behind them, but not nearly as much as a lot of people tend to believe. What are you doing? But fact number 2 was one I saw posted on Instagram. What are you doing? Are you yawning? Sorry, it caught me off guard seeing him yawn. Oh, I got it on camera. But so oh shoot, they're gonna start pushing each other around. Myth number 2 is that snakes can and will try to kill you if you encounter them. And like, do I really need to... I really need to try to disprove this. I have 2 snakes right here. You know, my arm's hiding one of them, but she is like the largest hognose I have. 2 feet of snake, which she'll be getting a little bit bigger, but... And then I have Hercules over there, who is a constrictor, who I can comfortably put on my neck. In one of my last videos, I had Cheerio on my neck. Snakes don't actively try to seek out people to kill them. Honestly, I don't know why people started this idea, this myth, because it's just kind of stupid if you think about it. You sit logically and think, why would an animal, like, you know, this big on average, like 2, 3 feet, maybe some are 6 to 7 feet, why would an animal put in effort to kill something that is much larger than it, that it also cannot eat? Because snakes cannot chew. Like, they can chew, but like they aren't going to chew things off. They're not going to bite like fingers off and stuff like that. Like you could see a turtle or a frog. Frogs, that's really difficult for them to do. But like turtles, birds, dogs, apes, snakes cannot bite in that same capacity. They can bite, like they can tag you with their teeth. They can bite, like they can chew you a little, but they're not going to take anything off of you. Like a snapping turtle could take my finger, could take my hand, if I'm not careful. An alligator could take my arm. Snakes are not going to actively seek out something. I knew this was going to happen. She pooped. Why do you do this? Every time I take you out. I'll turn the fan on. Bah. We're not using this towel anymore either. This is going to be washed. But, no, snakes are not going to actively seek you out to try to kill you. They cannot eat you. Like, majority of species of snakes are not large enough to eat a human being. Sorry, that smell is just awful. I'm actually, I think I'm going to put her back so she doesn't poop again. Ugh, God, that smell is just awful. Oh, do you want back in yours too? Oh, do you want out? Do you want to stay out? Okay. Sorry. That smells awful. I'm going to have to get a new towel. Just going to toss that over there and deal with it after the video's done. But, no, they're not going to actively try to seek out something that can kill you. Like, because we can easily kill them too, and they know that. They're actually, 9 times out of 10, the aggressive behavior is actually fear. And we're not getting out of its face, we're jumping around, we're going, oh my God, we're yelling, hopping around. So, no, not true. Snakes do not actively try to seek out people to kill them. And people might be like, oh, but your snakes are captive bred. They're not going to try to kill you because they're your pet. Well, viewer who is watching that might have that idea, that's not correct. I've had wild snakes in the past, and I've never had one that actively was like, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to try to kill you. Never, not once. I've had leopard geckos that have like drawn blood. I've actually had more injuries leopard gecko related than I have snake related. But for the third one, they like to measure up prey. Like, oh my God, he's measuring up my arm. He's going to try to eat it. Oh no. Ah. No, that's just ridiculous. That is completely and utterly ridiculous. Snakes do not. Oh, sorry. You're not going to like the glass feel because you don't have texture on there. There. They're not sizing you up when they're slithering next to you. That is ludicrous. Don't tell me you're going to poop too. Oh, thank God. Thought he was, and I was like, no, not on the glass. But no, they're not sizing up to eat you. most of the time, like, when I have my hand like this, he's under my arm, he's not measuring it up. My arm's just warm. Like, this glass, you know, it's room temperature, but my arm is freaking warm. My arm's like 80 degrees, my room's like 70. That's a 10-degree whole difference. So, like, to him, this probably feels like nice. So, like, those large, oh, hi. And he's also trying to burrow, too. So, those large snakes, though, they need a lot of body heat to digest things, as well as to just function. So, no, they're not sizing up their owners to try to eat them or something. They're probably just legitimately trying to cuddle up for warmth. Now, yes, there are stories of, you know, those larger snakes like green anacondas, yellow anacondas down in Florida, Burmese pythons that are massive, eating their owners. And my reply to that argument is, well, yeah, it's happened. But they weren't sizing them up, like going next to them and stuff and cuddling with them. They were not sizing them up. What more than likely happened was the owner did not completely wash off the scent of whatever they were feeding the snake with, or they just didn't feed the snake enough. So, yeah, bigger things you gotta be careful with, because they can just eat you, and that's why we'll never get anything like that. Number 4 is snakes don't have bones. This was one that one of my friends made the remark one night when we were on Xbox together. Made the remark about that, and I was like, "Are you a fool?" And then he's like, "No, like they don't have bones, right? They're like a worm. They got teeth, like a worm." And I'm like, "What?" And then I realized like he was being serious, and then I sat there and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I guess some people and I looked it up, and apparently people legitimately do not think that snakes have bones. No, they have bones. They are nothing but like in a giant elongated rib cage. They have a lot of bones. They have a lot of ribs. They have a lot of vertebra. They have a jaw. So they have a lower mandible that's also split into 2 pieces. They have a skull. They have their entire spinal column, which you know is the entire length of the snake. But then they also have the tail area, which comes about like on him. That'll be about right here on him, because he is a male hognose, so it's about right there is where his tail starts and where his little ribs kind of end. No, snakes have quite a few bones. And then for the last one, wow, I kind of like hurried through the last couple. I was taking too long and then had to pick up the poop. But the last one is, this one I've heard so many variants of this, but in order to truly kill a snake, you have to cut off its head, and even then it can still be alive. I even saw, was it a video on YouTube? Or maybe it was someone advertising for their channel, their YouTube channel on Instagram. It was something like that, where it was this picture of the snake, and it was a garter snake, and they obviously photoshopped in all these gnarly looking teeth on it to make it look evil, and they made its eye red. And I kind of just rolled my eyes, because that's like the most ludicrous thing ever. That's so stupid. To like try to make it look evil, and it's just a garter snake. But then they showed, like, I think they photoshopped the head cut off of the snake based on how the picture looked. It looked very photoshopped. And I was like, snakes they don't, like, the way that their thumbnail and their description was describing it was making it seem like snakes cannot be killed by decapitation. They can be. They can be killed like almost every other thing with decapitation. What are you doing? Yeah, by the way, he's a little bit of a weirdo, and I should have probably mentioned that little twitch thing he does that all the time. I was told that was normal, but he isn't impaired, thankfully. But back to the main point, they were like talking about how snakes can live on after death from decapitation. Now, granted, they do not require a lot of oxygen to stay alive, so therefore they can technically, like, they can be alive, their head can still be alive after, oh, he wants back in his cage, I don't know what he wants. It can still be, like, active after decapitation, but that does not mean that they cannot be killed. Like the thumbnail was implying, and their language in their description was implying, snakes much so will die after being decapitated. It just might take a little bit. And it's kind of messed up when you think about it, decapitating a snake, because like for us, it's pretty much almost instant death. With some records saying that depending on where the cut is on the back of the spinal cord, you can live up to like 10 seconds, I think, 7 to 10 seconds after being decapitated. And you will be able to process. Your brain is still fully functioning because you haven't run out of oxygen yet, or other nutrients fueling your brain. Snakes require much less oxygen than a human does. So their head will remain completely active for... I've heard stories of like, oh, it's been alive for an hour, it's still alive, gotta put it in alcohol to kill it. No. That is BS. Those people are just terrified of snakes and are looking to make up any story to demonize the animal. It's ludicrous. Or I've also heard, like, my father, who I do not talk to very much anymore, he, for whatever reason, I've heard, like, stories of family members saying, like, he's killed snakes in the past and, like, just destroyed the corpse because it was like, they have 7 hearts and, like, 3 brains and something weird like that. And I, like, after being, like, reminded about that, I kind of remember him when he flipped out about me picking up a baby rattlesnake when I was, like, 6, saying something similar, and, like, he, like, crushed it. Like, he ran it over with the truck after smacking it out of my hand and squishing its head with his boot. Like, ran it over, like, twice just to make sure it was dead. And it's like, that's pathetic. Like, snakes can be killed in ways other than, like, decapitation. Like, it's 2 different things. Like, one thing saying that they will not die instantly after decapitation, which is true. There's some fact to that, but a lot of people like to over-dramatize it. Add a bit of fiction to it to make it a little bit more shocking, a little bit more scary. And then other people like to claim that, like, decapitation is the only way to kill it because they have so many hearts and brains and whatnot that, like, you have to cut up each segment where the brain is at and weird things like that. I don't know where this started. Maybe because some people got confused in their elementary schools the difference between a worm and a snake. Worms have segmented bodies and they do have duplicate organs. So killing a worm by cutting it into pieces isn't going to actually kill it. It is going to make more worms. Kind of like a starfish, how you cut off the arm of a starfish, that arm grows into a separate starfish, and the starfish grows its arm back, so then you have 2. So yeah, that's my take on the last one, a little bit of a long-winded one, but yeah, no, snakes, they do not have more than 1 heart, they do not have more than 1 brain, unless you're talking about 2-headed individuals, which, though uncommon, can still happen. They will have 2 brains, a brain in each head, obviously. But they won't have any more than that. And this might seem ridiculous sounding to some people watching this, like me, even just entertaining the thought of there being, like, more than 1 brain in a snake with 1 head and, like, multiple hearts. No, like, people in, like, rural places, especially, like, rural western areas, rural Midwest. Don't know why, but it is very much so, like, a common thing there. That's where I heard it the most, was when, like, I lived in Wisconsin and Montana. Definitely Montana, Wyoming area. I know a lot of people believe that. But, yeah, that is not accurate. The only part of that was mildly accurate was the fact that snakes don't instantly die after decapitation. And that's purely just because they don't require as much oxygen to live as we do. So they'll obviously last longer with less oxygen. But that's pretty much it. That's the end of this video. Just kept it kind of short. I didn't put any sticky notes up this time just because I wanted there to be some level of surprise when I got to the topics. Yeah. that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been Bring Me the Bow. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. Let me know if you guys liked the myths idea, and let me know if I should do more of these, or if I should take like a more in-depth view and like get into the scientific aspects of why these are not correct. Because some of these you can actually prove scientifically, and others are just common sense. I picked some that they're just very much so common sense. In my opinion, common sense to me, I should say. But yeah, just let me know if you guys have any more like ideas like this. If you think that this was a fun video for you guys to watch. Anyways, it's been Bring Me the Boa, and I'll see you guys in another video.